dangerous to do that. Why would an animal do that? I don't know. Another thing, he told me not to go swimming in the ocean if, when I got there were other black people that used to live in the ocean. They are called the Moringona. What is it? I forgot the word. Anyway, they're the native, not natives. They're almost like natives. They live on the ocean. They're black and they're fishermen. And so at that time, they were fishermen. And there would be a cacique, and he didn't want to live in the town because in the town he was allowed to have only one wife. But in the village that he lived in, he could have 4 women or more in separate huts apparently. No air conditioning, no electricity. So he mentioned that if I got to the ocean, the beach, and there were no black people, there were black people on the beach, but if they were not swimming, then I should not go into the water either. They know things that you don't know, he would tell me. He also told me to pay attention to what color the water was. And I forgot already which color is which. Now, even as a child, I knew that I could die in Honduras. When I went to the capital, I was riding the bicycle, and of course I couldn't ride it because it was uphill. So I pushed it up, 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 up. It was not paved. When I finally got to the top, then I said, well, I could ride my bicycle, BMX or something, ride it down. But then God stopped me somehow. My brain started thinking, and it said, you could really die by riding your bicycle down here. I don't know why people have bicycles in mountainous areas. You can only ride it for a short distance. Without danger, that is. Also, I've noticed there are no lifeguards on the beach. Desolate beaches. Sometimes there are just like empty beaches. There are snakes, scorpions on trees, and scorpions and spiders and trees. One time I was kicking at 22, 23. I was kicking it must have been 25, 26, 25 probably, 24 maybe. I was kicking a tree like they do in the movies for the kickboxers in Thailand. The trees that you could knock down, those are the banana trees. And I was kicking it and kicking it, and my cousin stopped me and he says, "Don't you see it?" And I said, "No, what is it?" And then finally, a spider had climbed from inside the, I'll say, bark, and it had climbed up. And then my cousin said, "Don't do that anymore because it could jump on you and bite you. And there are no doctors around here." Well, one of them was studying medicine, but dangerous. The point is, even on the roads, over here you take it for granted in the United States. You see that there are like little tiny fences for cars, railings that they keep you from going into the grass or into the water, or they protect you on the highway. In Honduras, yes, some places they have it, but it's such a short one. I mean, not that it's tall, I'm talking distance. I mean, you see it and then it's missing. And it's not only missing, you could really fly off the road over there. Driving at night, driving in the daytime, and there are boulders on the road that were not there yesterday, but they fell down. And one of my 18-year-old cousins, she traveled from Tela to, well, I think the university is in San Pedro Sula, and her 22 of them died in that bus. And it's because she was only 18. Her twin brother lives, but uh, my uncle was tall, her father, and when I saw him, he was all hunched over. Yes, 80 years old, maybe, I don't know. He was the youngest of my grandmother's brothers, but he was all hunched over, and he used to be a hunter and a doctor, a hunter and hunting deer. But I asked my grandpa why he didn't go with him, and my grandpa said they sometimes find alligators, and that alligators have a technique of whipping their tail and knocking you down and eating you. Something like almost, maybe that's where dragons come from, the belief about dragons. So I didn't, well, my grandpa didn't go hunting, but he had done it, he said. And so the roads are not safe. It's almost like there is no, it's really a chaos in a sense. Yes, there is a road, but it's, if you go too fast, you die. So in Honduras, you really gotta pay attention to driving and doing whatever you're doing, because at any moment you could make a real mistake. I wanted to tell you about, the black people in Honduras. They have started going on these cruise ships as workers, and when they come back 5 years later, they got accustomed to the modern society, especially the young ones. Garifuna is their culture, and so they don't want to live in the village anymore. They live in town, and they have the beautiful houses with air conditioning and electricity. And even in the villages, I heard that some of them have electricity. This is when I was 16. Some Baptist carpenters went to Honduras, and Tornabe is the place in San Juan. And my brothers, half brothers, they took me there. I didn't see any electricity or anything at all, but they were building something, which I like. That's what Christianity is about. And at the same time, there was one funeral there, and my brother told me how everybody in town went to the funeral, and it was at night, and they were carrying the body, and then finally they got to some house and they put it there. And then I don't know what happened, but I think we all went home. But some people stay overnight doing something with the body. I don't know what they do, pray or sing, or I don't know. So it's a village type society. Not anymore. Now the world is becoming, you can travel anywhere, but nobody knows your name. Your neighbors don't talk to you most of the time, right? Whereas back then, when I went to Russia, it was Lvov. I spoke with some kids there. They were like my host family for like a dinner or something, and they were so it was just myself, maybe two others, Americans, United States students, high school students. We were all at this lady and her son, and he had his girlfriend, and he said that they've liked each other ever since second grade. And I said, and how long have you known each other? Oh, ever since first grade, or whichever was the first grade of school. So that's amazing because over here, people move around a lot. It's a city where I live. My life here has been, everybody moves, so there is no, there are no roots. Uh, One time in Miami, one man said to me, "Yes, I'm from Venezuela, but I don't know anything about them. My parents are from Venezuela. I was born there too, but ask me anything about Boise, Idaho. That's where I, that's what I know about."